Mr. Speaker, I rise today to speak about our need to invest in America, to invest in our future. Sound infrastructure is literally and figuratively the foundation of our nation's economy. But for quite some time, we in Washington have not provided the critical funding for our infrastructure projects that our communities around the country need. We must stop living off the investments that our parents and grandparents made generations ago and instead start intelligently investing in our infrastructure again. The American Society of Civil Engineers estimates that to update our infrastructure system that we need to make an investment of over $1 trillion. And of course the President has talked about such a bipartisan package. One key to intelligent investment is the federal government matching infrastructure funds for state and local governments. This is needed, and it has been historic to, in fact, make these projects a reality. As we see from our history, infrastructure projects in this country move forward most effectively when we have a combination of local, state, and federal dollars to invest. Across the country, state and local governments are raising funds to repair and improve infrastructure, often making tough political choices for raising taxes or making difficult decisions required to do so. This is happening both in red and blue states alike. In all three of the counties in my district, Merced, Madera, and Fresno counties, they have voted to increase their local sales tax by a half cent in order to pay for essential transportation projects, including road repairs and construction of new road systems and highways. Last year, the California legislature and the governor enacted a bill to increase the state gas tax and vehicle funds to pay for bridges, roads, and other transportation improvement projects over the next 10 years. Clearly, these are tough decisions, tough political decisions, but the policy implications, notwithstanding the political risks, are worth it. And our state and local leaders in California have taken these risks. Let me tell you, it's the right thing to do. You see, it takes dollars to fill potholes. That's the bottom line. To repair bridges and to improve road systems, it takes dollars. It's not magic. And now the federal government needs to step up and face the challenge head on, and we need to be responsible in our nation's capital. I've been working hard for years to improve the infrastructure in California's San Joaquin Valley, both in the State House and now here in Congress. And we have made some progress, but what we're lacking is the federal component. It's essential that we build a transportation and water infrastructure system to meet the 21st century system needs not only of California, but of our entire nation and the valley I have the honor and privilege to represent. We need a more reliable water system to supply our farms and cities that are growing. And with climate change, we know we have to take that into account. And we also need a better 21st century system of transportation. What is missing? I'll tell you what's missing. Federal funding, federal participation. To make this happen, we in Congress should incentivize states and local governments, like in California and the counties I represent, that have already raised funds for these projects, with a federal funding stream that will complement these state and local efforts. California and the San Joaquin Valley are already doing their part, and we need here in Washington to do our part to invest in our country's future. This will require Democrats and Republicans to work together to engage in a serious bipartisan deliberation and negotiations this year to make this national infrastructure project a reality. Last week, we in the Problem Solvers Caucus released a report to a state of our nation's infrastructure and made bipartisan recommendations on how we get there. These recommendations can serve as a foundation for consensus on which bipartisan collaboration can build the policy that repairs, advances, and invests in America's infrastructure. And although we've not seen a lot of bipartisan deliberative policymaking here lately, I'm urging my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to show some profiles and courage. We must come together to invest in America's infrastructure if we expect to have the capacity for the economic and innovation, the economic development and innovation for the future of America in the 21st century. I have made this a priority throughout my years of service in the San Joaquin Valley, both in Sacramento and now in Washington, D.C. I invite my colleagues to join me in investing in America's infrastructure. Work with the President, work on a bipartisan basis. After all, that's what we're supposed to do in investing in America's infrastructure and therefore our future. This has been our tradition in the past on how we've gotten great projects completed, and this is the kind of investment we may need to make today for America's infrastructure. Let us work together. It's the right thing to do. I yield back the balance of my time.